Hey guys, it's Jack and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are doing a Bible study video, and this is my first Bible study of 2020. Woo 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 woo. I'm so excited. So this video is going up a little later than what I had wanted to, just because I've been so sick the past 2 weeks now. Ever since the new year started, I have been so sick, and I'm just now getting a little bit better. So we're well enough to film this Bible study video, so I am stoked. We are going through Proverbs. I mentioned in my last Bible study video that all throughout January I'm going through the book of Proverbs. There's 31 chapters and there's 31 days in January, so every day I'm reading a new chapter. So today is January 12th, so we are going to read chapter 12 together. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been reading along every day, doing your daily devotional, your daily reading, and reading through a chapter per day. If you're not joining and reading every day with me, I highly recommend it, because Proverbs is such a good book, and I feel like it's such a great one to start the new year, new decade with, because Proverbs is a book about wisdom, and it's a book that gives you basic instructions on how to live life, basically. I think of Proverbs as like, you know, like in the cartoons when you have like an angel on your shoulder and then the devil on your shoulder, and then like they're both speaking to you. I feel like Proverbs is that book, letting you know what is right and what is wrong. It's like walking you through that little battle that you have with the little angel and the devil on your shoulder. So if you haven't had a chance to read this book, I highly recommend you do. It's so good. So we're gonna read chapter 12 together. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are ready. So go ahead and grab your Bibles. I am reading from the Jesus Bible, which is an NIV version. You can find this at Barnes & Noble's. I will leave a link down below if you guys want this exact same one. You can use the Bible app on your phone, whatever you got. I always like having an actual Bible here on hand, because I like to make lots of notes, as you guys can see. I've read through Proverbs before, and I was doing a lot of highlight, but not so much note taking in here. So then when I read through it again, I was like, why did I highlight this? Or what was the thought that I was thinking when I highlighted this? So now I'm really like taking so many notes, as much as I can take. So let's just go ahead and jump on into it. So Proverbs chapter 12 verse 1. Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid. And I laughed when I read this. Like, I can't believe it said it used that word, like, you're stupid. If you read the actual like King James version, the more like traditional version of the Bible, it says brutish, or like whoever hates correction is brutish, which like in translation to modern language today is like stupid, or like not very bright. But whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, and I think that refers back to the very first chapter and multiple verses within Proverbs, where it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And I think that's been a huge theme within this book. Moving on to verse 2, it says, good people obtain favor from the Lord, but he condemns those who devise wicked schemes. So it's saying like the wicked won't go unpunished. God favors those who do good. Verse 3, no one can be established through wickedness, but the righteous cannot be uprooted. So with wickedness, there's no stability, right? And with righteousness, they're deeply rooted. It's saying the righteous cannot be uprooted. So that means the roots are deep roots, which is very stable, right? When you think of it. Verse 4, a wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like a decay in his bones. And then when I read this reminds me of that that like quote you hear all the time, a happy wife, happy life. But it really is saying here, like, a wife can either edify her husband and, you know, speak life into him, and like, what did it say? Be her husband's crown, or she can literally destroy her husband. Verse 5, the plans of the righteous are just, which is like good and right, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful, which is bad, lying, like untrue, sneaky. Verse 6, the words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the speech of the upright rescues them. I love the way that they put this, and I've seen this multiple times within Proverbs already up to this point, but it's saying your words can either speak life or death to people. And how many times have you read that within the Bible alone? But it's saying the words of the wicked lie in wait for blood. Like, they're waiting to kill you, basically. but the speech of the upright rescues them. So that's what it means. Like, your words can either speak life or death on people. Verse 7, the wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the righteous stands firm. When I read this, I think of the everlasting life that has been promised. I think that's showing gospel truth right there. Verse 8, a person is praised according to their prudence, which is like caution or good judgment, and one with a warped mind is despised. Better to be a nobody and yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. I love this verse so much. This speaks on humility and having a humble heart. Be a nobody yet have a servant than pretend to be somebody and have no food. Just be true to who you are. Don't be trying to be somebody you're not. Don't try, and I think it's so easy in social media especially, like we try to fake this luxurious lifestyle when, you know, maybe we don't even have food at home to eat, but we're showing off like we've got all the riches of this world, you know what I mean? Humble yourself, have a humble heart, and don't try and be something that you're not. Verse 10, the righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. The righteous care for the needs of the animals. I think of, have you ever seen that picture of Jesus, and like it's like a drawing or painting of Jesus, like, and he's surrounded with the animals and like caring for them, and like there's like little baby lamb and everything. I always think of that, like how compassionate Jesus was towards everything, not just mankind, but like the animals that walk this earth. And I think that's forgotten sometimes, especially like when you read through like the first chapter of the Bible, the first book of the Bible, I should say. In Genesis, it speaks that we have dominion over everything, which is true. You know, God created us and we are more special in God's eyes than, you know, the animals and the other things of this world. But that doesn't mean we need to lack that love and compassion towards them. Whenever I think of just compassion towards animals, I always picture that image of Jesus just surrounded with the animals and being such a loving and caring shepherd. Verse 11, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. It's saying work hard. Don't just be a dreamer, but work for it too. The wicked desire the strongholds of evildoers, but the root of the righteous endures. And I wrote in here, read NLT version. Let me read that to you guys real quick because it made, oops, wrong one. It made more sense to me when I read it. What are we? Verse 12. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot, but the godly are well rooted and bear their own fruit. So that makes much more sense to me. Thieves are jealous of each other's loot. So, or you know, that's like treasure. The wicked desire the stronghold of evildoers. Basically, the evil ones, the wicked, the jealousy, there's never going to be enough. They always want more, right? But it's saying a godly person who is well rooted will bear their own fruit, their own riches, their own blessing, instead of trying to go out and grab and steal and take other people's blessings and riches. You know what I'm saying? Verse 13, evildoers are trapped by their sinful talk. Again, your words have the power to speak life or death. And so the innocent escape trouble. From the fruit of their lips, people are filled with good things, and the work of their hands bring them reward. So work hard. We've read that a couple times here. Work hard, speak life, and you will be rewarded. Verse 15, the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. So foolish people think what they're doing is right, but wise will listen to advice. They will listen to what others have to say, learn and grow from that advice, instead of always thinking that what you're doing is always right. Sometimes, instead of always trying to defend our ways, sometimes we need to have an open mind to accept the advice of others. Verse 16, fools show their annoyance at once, but the prudent overlook an insult. This just means being slow to anger, which we've read about before in the Bible, I feel like. Fools show their annoyance at once, but the prudent overlook an insult. Brush off those insults. Brush off that annoyance. Don't let it get to you. And work on being slow to anger. Verse 17, an honest witness tells the truth, but a false witness tells lies. Just speaking on being honest. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, and the tongue of the wise brings healing. Your mouth is can be used as a weapon, because again, like we've said multiple times, your words, your mouth has the power to speak life or death onto people. I just want to read that again. The words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. I think that's powerful right there. Verse 19, truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. You know that saying that the truth shall set you free? Because there's freedom in living honestly. Also, when you think about it, when you tell one lie, you have to like remember that lie so you don't like trip up and like get caught lying. So you have to like keep remembering that lie, and then that goes into another lie. You have to always keep remembering, and you can be trapped and enslaved to that kind of like I don't know, that bond where you have to remember all of these lies you're keeping so that it's not revealed that you're lying. So there's just so much freedom when you can live an honest life. Everything you speak, there is truth in, so you don't have to try and like, oh, what did I tell that person like last time, so I don't like tell them something else this time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you are lying all the time, it's so easy to trip up on your lies and be exposed. But when you live honestly, there's nothing to expose, and there's freedom in just living that honest life. Verse 20, deceit is in the heart of those who plot evil, but those who promote peace have joy. No harm overtakes the righteous, but the wicked have their fill of trouble. The Lord detests lying lips, and he delights in those who are trustworthy. This reminded me of a verse 1 from chapter 11. The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weight finds favor with him. It's just talking so much about honesty in here, and just basically how important it is to live an honest life. God delights in the people that are trustworthy. The prudent keep their knowledge to themselves, but a fool's heart blurts out folly. This reminded me of another verse from chapter 10, verse 19. Let me go back and read that. 10:19. It says, sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues. That just reminded me of that. The prudent keep their knowledge to themselves, but a fool's heart blurts out folly, like just blurts out nonsense, you know? And just because you speak all the time doesn't necessarily mean it's always right or it's wise. Sometimes the more wise option is to hold your tongue. Verse 24, diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Again, just work hard. So we're reading multiple times within this chapter alone to work hard, speak life, live an honest life, and you will be rewarded and you will find favor in God's eyes. Anxiety weighs down the heart, but a kind word cheers it up. A kind word. So again, speak life to people, especially those with anxiety. Sometimes we just need that reminder, you know, from other people. When we feel our anxiety just kind of overcoming us, it does weigh us down for sure. So when you naturally just speak life to everyone, you are healing and helping people without even realizing it sometimes. So that's why it's just so important to always speak life and speak a kind word to people. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. And this is so good. Be careful with who you surround yourselves with, because the people you surround yourself with, I've said this before in a Bible study video before, but there's like this quote where like, if you hang out with 9 thieves, you're probably going to be that 10th thief. Like, you become the people you surround yourselves with. So if you surround yourself with 9 successful people, you'll be that 10th successful person. You know what I mean? So be careful with who you surround yourself with, because you kind of subconsciously transform and become like the people you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounded constantly by people who are just wicked in their ways, lying, full of sin, I know we all are sinful, we're all human, but if you're surrounding yourself with people who are constantly living in that sin and they think they're doing right, you know, it said in here, the foolish think their ways are right, you will easily transform and become that as well. So it's important to surround yourself by good, godly people who will lead you closer on this walk with Jesus. Those are the type of people you want to surround yourself with. Good people with light in them. The lazy do not roast any game, which is they won't have anything to eat. They won't have anything to cook or eat. but the diligent feed the riches of the hunt. So again, work hard for what you got, or work hard for what you need and what you want. In the way of the righteous there is life. Along the path is immortality. There are two paths basically that we can take. The path of life or the path of death. Which one do you want to choose? With the whole book of Proverbs, that's really what it's showing. Like here's what the people that want to be on the path of life, this is what they're gonna do. And the people that are on the path to death, this is what they're doing. So it really is like, you know, the little angel and the devil on your shoulder. And the book of Proverbs is really speaking that life on what is right and what is wrong. So that is it for chapter 12. What did you guys think? What did you guys take away from this? I feel like I love the repetition within Proverbs, because I feel like for me, I'm sure you guys can relate too, but I feel like repetition helps me learn. And that's why it's also important to reread the books of the Bible. So even if you've read a book once, read it again to continue to learn and get that repetition. But I think the biggest takeaway from chapter 12 is to speak life, live honestly, work hard, and you'll have favor in God's eyes. Let me know what you guys took away from this chapter, or what your favorite verse from this chapter was. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys not next Sunday but the following Sunday for another Bible study video as we dive into Proverbs a little bit more. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!